What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Citizen, and today we are going to be continuing our character series in the MOBA Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra. So, last time we covered the MC of the series, Goku, and today we are continuing on in the attacker role by taking on the Demon King himself, Dabura. So, the cool thing about Dabura is that he is a very unique character, and the reason why I say that is because even though he doesn't do like immense damage like characters like Maju, which we'll cover, 18, which we'll cover, and then of course Goku, who you guys already saw, he deals damage in a completely different and unique way. Aside from just dishing out damage through his skills, he has a unique ability called the Petrification Gauge. This is through his passive, Demon's Domain. And essentially, as you can see in the meter, once that gauge is filled up, the player literally turns to stone. Any player, I can be taking on 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, or even a 4v1. And if I get the meter filled on all four characters and I hit my input key, which in my case is square because I'm on PlayStation controller, essentially every character will turn to stone. And what that does is that makes them vulnerable and susceptible to damage even greater than when I am just doing normal base attacks. So how do we go over this without actually getting into any and all of the attacks itself that trigger the passive? So in our case, we have the first skill, which is the Doom's Ray. So essentially, this is an unavoidable attack that fills the petrification gauge. The emptier it is when the attack hits. So again, if I am just initiating a fight, that is a great way to kickstart the Dabura combo to fill up the petrification gauge at a faster rate. Aside from that, again, if activated immediately after a vanishing step, it reduces attack activation time. What that does is it creates an explosion in front when attacking, causing more damage. But then again, the main thing with this combo is I want to activate it immediately after a vanishing step to reduce the overall activation time. So meaning if the activation time is, say, 5 seconds, if I perform a vanishing step and then trigger it, the cooldown for that is going to be even less, like between 2 and 3. We're going to find out like what the specifics are in a moment. So Darkness Sphere, skill number 2, is the only one that does not, and I repeat, does not trigger anything with the petrification gauge because it has its own unique ability. As you can see, Spears pierce hit enemy heroes and apply no vanishing steps. I don't know why I can't read. Spears pierce the hit enemy heroes and apply no vanishing step. Meaning, if I target you, and as you can see on the screen, that was the level 3 where I get 3 spears in 3 different directions. When they are hit, the animation of a spear is right through them. They cannot trigger their vanishing step. Now, mind you, I want to keep this in mind that, again, this does not, and I repeat, does not count towards Goku's ability like Kaioken or any ability that has a dash mechanic to it, right, that deals damage, right? This is specifically just targeting vanishing step. Then we have our third ability, Evil Flame. Essentially, what this does is this applies movement speed down and also applies burning while filling the petrification gauge. So it does damage over time, and it is a natural debuffer. So essentially, you want to treat Dabura as a secondary attacker, not as more like your primary damage dealer, because again, he's going to work very well in tandem with other heroes, right? Other DPS, your tank, your technical. As long as you guys are doing damage, you will reap the benefit of everything in Dabura's kit. Now, that does not mean that he cannot solo people. There are plenty of great Daburas, but remember, for the purposes of the showcase, we are just going to showcase what it looks like under a normal setting, not really at like high competitive play, because again, in high competitive play, you're going to want to bait and switch all of your combinations. But then again, at the end of the day, as long as you understand the core principle of the skills that he has, along with his passive and of course his super attack, which we'll be covering very soon, that is the main purpose of this series. So let's wrap up by talking about his super attack, the Evil Blast. Fire an explosive energy blast at a set position, fills the petrification gauge of heroes hit by the explosion. Because it is a super attack, it is going to fill it a lot larger than the Evil Flame and the Doom's Ray, right? So again, this is going to be kind of like your end game, especially if There are people whose petrification gauge is filled even in the slightest. You could do a skill 1 into a super attack, and that will fill it fully. But remember, you're going to want to still hit that punch input. For me, it is square, right? So, without further ado, let's get into a match and see what Dabura has about. So you already know what time it is. We are going to launch ourselves into quick battle. Again, this is just because, again, as you saw, that I am level, sorry, not level. I am S rank in the attacking role, but then again, the likelihood of, one, getting a match at a more convenient time is going to be a lot less than, say, when I am in quick battle, where again, it's people just trying to have fun, especially with the start of the season coming around, no one trying to lose rank. It is what it is. So hopefully we can get in a good match, come out with the win. But of course, if not, again, as long as we're able to showcase what Dabura can do, that is going to be the bread and butter. We're going to take on the lower route here. No, actually. No, okay, cool. Kale's going up top. We're going to take on the lower route here. I personally like going the lower route with Dabura. Again, it is not a one-size-fit-all. Again, other heroes will say what it recommends. This is basically showcasing that because it doesn't have a recommend, that Dabura is literally flexible wherever he goes. Because, again, he's not supposed to be that intense and insane damage dealer. He's, again, going to support. So if I say have Zamasu, right? Zamasu's typically like to go bot lane. Zamasu will be kind of like our initiator, if you would. I can initiate too, but then again, at the end of the day, we're just mainly going to try to get those combos off. If we are able to get it to a point where we can get it off, then we shall see. But I really want you guys to see the... there is a custom animation when Dabura turns someone into stone if we get the kill off. Hopefully we can pull that off. I am going to start off, since it is Super Start, which is great for the showcase, I want to start off by getting the arrows and the spears all the way to max, right? So let's do that. I'm going to go for Evil Flame here. That damage over time is going to be clutch. So going from here into here, yep. Boom, awesome. I don't know where Zamasu's going. Okay. Perfect, yep. Alright, yep. And you know what, let's just get our skill 1 just so we can have like a variety, showcase the combos in full. So we are going to go for this. I'm going to be over here. Yep, I see that. So boom, Vegeta now can't move. Look at the petrification gauge filling. Boom, we're going to hit it with skill 1. Boom, bam, he was turned into stone. Now we're going to do the same thing. Look, he can't dash away all, but he had, like I said, the movement ability. We were not able to get him. So like I said, that arrow ability does not allow, or does not remove the chance for him to get out of jail free with his own skill, right? So that was very good for us to see that in real time. I'm going to go for Snowball here just because I want us to be able to do the most amount of damage. And if we can get some kills off, that is really going to help us in the long run. I'm going to activate that for more damage over time. Zamasu took on that fight. That is not good. No. So, boom, we're going to go here. Alright, we do have our ultimate. Gonna burn him. Damage over time. Little. I'm okay with giving up that farm. I want Zamasu to come with me. So that way, we don't have to worry about... yeah, here we go. Alright. So, boom... Remember, Vegeta can't leave, turn into stone, and then again, boom, we punish those. Look, now all he has... Yep. Got him. Booyah. So, and sometimes that's really good. The arrows are good for just catching escaping enemies. So I'm glad that we got to showcase that as well. Let's go with Prepare to Die, so that way when they're under 50% HP, we can really take advantage of that. Alright, you know what time it is. Let's get this God of Destruction going. Yep. Sparkly Stardust is actually going to help us. Ooh! I want to get that. Yep. Ooh! Okay. Booyah, turned into stone. We take that. Did you see how I got turned in? He got turned into stone. Boom, through my arrow, was able to finish the kill. We were not able to get the Piccolo, but that's totally fine as long as Zamasu is still alive, which he's doing fantastic right now, so I cannot complain. We're doing pretty good in terms of levels. Remember, like I said, we're taking this with a grain of salt. It is not ranked, so I don't expect it exactly to be the hardest. But you never know. We could run into a fellow potential streamer and or, again, just really good players. So we'll see. Vegeta really, and I mean really, wants this God of Destruction, man. There it is. That's the custom animation. Not a finisher effect. It is a custom animation specifically for Dabura when he turns someone into stone. That's so awesome that we got to see that. And then look at the damage potential that we have right here. Oh, again, I know we lost that, but we did get hit with a special beam cannon. But did you see how even in that one-on-one setting where we should have been killed a long time ago, we were able to almost kill Piccolo? If he didn't hit that special beam cannon, I'm sure that we would have been able to get that. So that was really cool. So we're seeing everything that I kind of wanted to show you guys. And mind you, this is all even before the first boss spawns, which is really cool. So let's go. Or maybe it's the second boss and I just wasn't paying attention. So what we're going to do right here, yep, fill that up a little bit. All right, I'm going to go for max burn damage. Booyah, right here, getting these kinds, beautiful. I'm going to round up our finishing ult. Boom, Vegeta can't leave. He has to stay and fight. He has no choice. Now, ooh, okay, so we're going to back up. All right, so they are dominating that top lane, so this is really good. Booyah. Gonna launch that. So it is not enough to kill Excel Jr. in one shot. I'm not sure how that's going to affect. Yeah, no, I think if we were like level 11, we would be able to get it, but you know, we're a little bit away from that, but you know, it is what it is. Piccolo, I'm catching Piccolo off guard. Yup. Look at how much it filled. Boom, that's that combo. Ult into the demonic pressure. Boom, now we are cooking. So it looks like we got this. This should be a GG. Yep. Booyah. All right, guys. That is the game with the custom Dabura animation and, of course, the emote that we just got. So that's so awesome. Super excited. Who got the MVP? Booyah! That's perfect. And that, folks, is the name of the game. As you can tell, look at the stat line. So, again, we were able to pull out 8 and 2, keeping up with our KO. We did 81,000 damage to the enemy heroes. Strike damage, because, again, we basically our rush attacks and our spears, right? Then we have our energy damage, which, again, we're not really focusing too much on energy. But then total damage inflicted, we are talking 153,000 of damage, and we were really good. We were checking the stats on our side, at least the second least amount of damage, which is really awesome. So again, with Dabura, the main thing, of course, we're going to take those. So the main thing with Dabura, hi Cooler, let me just go to the Dabura page. So the main thing you want to know with Dabura, again, is that he is going to assist in those team fights heavily. You want to be able to catch the people off guard. If you see and know that you have, these are great for things like Hit and other characters that are more mobile, being able to lock them in place. Again, as long as they either don't use their momentum ability or movement abilities, or if you can time it perfectly where you bait out their movement abilities and then you spear them, they have to take the fight and or really depend on their teammates to bail them out, right, and waste their util. So again, Dabura is a great, not difficult character to use. I highly recommend everyone try him. He is a great DPS. He offers a lot with his kit, but then again, that petrification gauge is too good to pass up. I highly recommend you do combos with him, like trying out with Kale, trying out with Goku as your secondary DPS, so that way, again, you know that you have that guaranteed damage, but then, of course, you know that you have that ultimate secure in Dabura. Well, guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for coming out and seeing my channel. Again, I am live, trying to be live at least 3 to 4 times a week over on twitch.tv/citizen. I will be live tomorrow, bright and early, for the Season 1 launch of Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra. Hopefully we can start off by, being able to play with Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And until then, guys, stay safe, stay classy, peace out.